Hey guys, welcome back. It's been far too long. I've been away too much, but all that's in for good. So I missed a bunch. My summers get insanely busy with crazy hours at work, crazy hours with the kids and the family. I get to do a little bit of car stuff, but have a hard time getting back to this. So I need to get back and get you guys all up to date on this car. If you guys don't know, it's my 1980 Berlinetta. A lot of you guys don't know what a Berlinetta is. It is a model of Camaro that was designed to get women involved in buying these cars. One good thing about starting with that base is women tend to take a little bit better care of their vehicles than we do, obviously. We tend to beat them up, tear them up. So what I've found on this car is pretty much what I believe to be either an older restoration or mostly original paint job on this. So we're gonna go through it, what I've gotten done front to back, starting from the beginning. Some of you guys have been back to all the way from the beginning. You've seen this car. I am literally gonna go nose to tail on this car and tell you a little bit about it and what we built it for, piece by piece. Might take a couple episodes, but I am going to break into this thing and reintroduce this car because it's come a long way. We've done so much with it. I'm going to tell you about some of the experiences we've done with it. As you can see, we went to LS Fest with it in Bowling Green. We've tracked the car. We've enjoyed the car, taking it to cruise nights. Yeah, just it's been a long time. So let's go from nose to tail. Car's up on stands right now because we're getting ready for our next adventure, which I'm going to go into great detail about that. But let's go nose to tail on this thing. It is running and driving. We put about 700 miles on it. And yeah, let's go nose to tail. So like I was saying, this is a 1980 Chevy Berlinetta. That is a factory Chevy option that was in the 1980s. Basically, the Berlinetta package was a package to incite like women to get into buying a sports car. Corvettes, men went out and bought the Corvettes, and the Berlinetta was a Camaro, so it had a back seat and kids and everything else. Just a little bit more plush. Like I said, a little bit more fancy of a Camaro. But it didn't have all the bells and whistles as far as power and all of that. We've changed that. So starting off, like I said, the Berlinetta has the stripe package on it, more polish, more chrome. We did switch. This is a Z28 grill and lower grill. We did have to put, this is a remanufactured teardrop hood with the striping on it. We're going to go ahead and do some paint work on it. But this is an Anvil Auto piece. So that's a carbon fiber replacement teardrop. We did get a pretty good price on it because this is one of their, it's got a few nicks and scratches, but like I said, we're going to do some paint work on this anyways. Kind of going around the outside of the car, just to give you an overlook of it. We do have our custom 3030 Autosports Legends. We got 18 by 9.5 up front. We're 18 by 11 out back. Up front, we're 275s. And then we got those nice, they're the 12-inch, they're almost 13-inch rotors with the 6-piston calipers. Willwood 6 pistons behind it. And then if we keep going back, And we got the Willwood 4 pistons behind this, and like I said, these are 18 by 11 295s. We did roll the insides of the fenders to give us just a little bit more space. We do autocross. I have autocross this car, so like I said. Then going back, we put this is a factory off of an actual Z28 spoiler on it, just to give it a little bit more flair. This was a smooth tail car, so didn't have a wing on it. So we went and drilled the holes in the trunk and did all that to put those in. Like I said, factory Bill Jacobs. That's a dealership near me, actually. And then this sticker over here, we kind of found out that it is from a high school in Texas. So, pretty cool. Like I said, we're kind of keeping that survivor mod, I guess. We are going to do some body mods here soon, but that's pretty much it. I'm going to go ahead and pop the hood, and that's where all the business end of the deal went. So here's the business end. So this is a 2007 L33 LS. It's a 5.3 liter all aluminum block, $799 factory heads. We went with a nice Holley mid-mount front runner setup in the, I guess it would be your raw finish. Holley single plane intake with it's a 4-barrel throttle body underneath there. Still factory injectors, still factory ignition. Then we are running the Holley Terminator X on this. To go along with our great Willwood brakes, we went with a Willwood master cylinder. I talked to Willwood, told them the brake setup I had, and that's what they recommended. So I believe this is a 1.12 piston master cylinder with the brake bias. Works great. We did go ahead and we put I'll put some pictures up here. We put a Brian Tooley Truck Norris cam in this. People say, why put a truck cam in a car? Being that we were planning on autocrossing this car, I wanted more low-end torque and power down low. The truck cam will give you that. Simple 550 cam. Did valve spring upgrade. New push rods. This car has a comp cams trunnion upgrade on it. So we replaced the needle bearing style bearings in the rockers to an actual bolt, like a bearing style in the cam or in the rockers. So other upgrades we did a Griffith. That is a dual pass. I believe it's a 3-core or 2-core, but it's huge. So it's about 2.5 inches. Dual pass meaning that it comes in this way, or comes in the top, comes over here, down, and then back across, so it cools it twice. Radiator shroud comes with that. Those are two 16-inch Spall electric fans. Our Holley controls those. Then we dressed it up and held it in place with a nice Custom Works. There you guys go. Custom Works Performance. This is their stamped radiator support. Just kind of nice. It covers it all up. Nice shroud. Like I said, motor's pretty well stock other than the upgrades that we did to it. Stock pistons, stock heads, nothing done to them, just cleaned up and painted to look a lot better. So we're venting all of our crankcase pressure through the factory valve covers, but they do vent down into our vibrant catch can, which is mounted in such a way. This piece, actually, the bracket, I 3D printed this. I'll throw some pictures up here. And then used fiberglass resin and resined it and then painted it. And that actually sits in the factory evap location. So you can still drain it from underneath. There's a hole in the bottom of the inside of the fender underneath that we can drain the catch can. And just kind of a nice factory option that we came up with. So under the hood, everything ended up getting resprayed. So insides of the fenders, obviously in the earlier episodes we did the cowl and glassed all that in. So inside the fenders, underneath the hood, all got resprayed. So it's nice and shiny and clean. Like I said, we kept the outside mostly original. But underneath the hood we did punch a pretty decent hole in this. So the air cleaner was sitting about a 1/4 inch. And that's about as low as I could get the air cleaner without having any issues. So I didn't want to go to a really narrow air cleaner. I felt like this was the ideal size that I really wanted to go with. It had 1/4 inch of clearance, but decided to bite the bullet and punch the hole in the factory hood. So it fits perfect. If you notice, there's something missing right here. We took all that time and restored our factory air box just for me to decide I didn't like the look of it. So we got rid of the factory air. It's all vintage air. As you can see, we have all of our AC lines hooked up, new condenser, which you can't see up in front. It's all vintage air underneath the dash. So we're going to finish hooking that up. I got it in just to clean it up, and we just have to wire it and charge it, and we should have pretty good air and heat. Pretty much that's it. We did get a new factory coolant overflow. I have a factory, excuse me, I have a factory windshield washer fluid tank to go in. I think we are going to go ahead and replace our hinges soon because we're working on panel gaps and stuff as best as possible. So let's go to the other interesting part, which is underneath the car. So as you can see, a lot has changed back here. We got our new Aeromotive stealth tank in. I don't know if you guys know what a stealth tank is, but in sense it's a factory replacement tank. It has your return from the motor comes back and actually feeds an in-tank baffling system so that you don't run out of fuel. With fuel injection, you really don't want to have fuel starvation. And especially since we're autocrossing the car now, we don't want to have the slosh side to side and lose fuel pressure and lean the car out and potentially damage the motor. Before in the episode, you saw me do the Mosier differential cover, still an open diff, still the 256 gears, which will hopefully be changing here soon. We did do, this is a Jags Performance stainless 3-inch exhaust. That goes all the way back over the axle and comes out right there. Like I said, that's 3-inch all the way back. We used Vibrant Performance. That's PTFE line, Aeromotive fuel filter, and ran all of that up to the front. We do have some different shocks in here. So on the factory Hotchkiss system, comes with shocks, the Fox 2.0 or 2.5 or whatever they are. valve for the car. We are doing a lot. We're going to plan on doing a lot more autocross with the car. So I went ahead and upgraded. These are Viking double adjustable shocks out back. Up front, when we get up there, I'll show you the coilovers that we went with. But yeah, that's the back end, the business end of the car. Hotchkiss sway bar. We are going to be making a change to, I believe, some MagnaFlow mufflers. These just sit really, really low, and we've already had issues with dragging the car on and off the trailer. I'd like to get the car a little lower now. But let's move up front here and, yeah, get an idea what's up there. Okay, so this is about midway up the car. As you can see, we have our Hotchkiss subframe connectors. Our Vibrant PTFE line comes just over the top of them. Really nice. Like I said, this does not come polished. I actually took, I don't know, it took me three weeks after work to sand and polish this exhaust. This is the Jegs Performance stainless. We added some Vibrant, these are Vibrant flex joints, just to keep some of the vibration out of the motor. Surprisingly, this went right up to my Hooker Blackheart long tube headers. Those are stainless also. Worked out fantastic. We are still running the automatic. Other than that, I don't have the cover on right now, so scoot up here. So we went to a smaller body converter. That is a 501 Performance converter out of Ohio. And that is, I believe, a 2300 stall. It's a custom converter for what I told him the car was. And he knocked it out of the park. The car performs great, stays up in power, and I can't say enough about that converter. So, we went to, like I said, when we did the swap, this is a factory F-body pan. ICT Billet helped. They didn't help out with it, but the way they break things down is fantastic. If you guys are looking to do conversion, definitely hit up ICT Billet with their guides. Is awesome. So that's a SFA certified flywheel or flex plate, sorry, that has a provision on it for the LS to the Turbo 350 trans. Like I said, factory F-body oil pan. We went to a, I'll put a picture up here, different baffling kit in there, so that it helps out with the G-forces that we pull, like I said, doing autocross and stuff like that. Up front, we are running the full Hotchkiss Stage 2. We did go to Viking coilovers up front. Those are also double adjustables. 450-pound springs. And I believe the part number on that is 227s. That's the shock body on this. Still has the T-flange on the bottom. But yeah, let me go completely up front and I will show you underneath the front end. Okay, so like I said, completely under the front here now. This is a Hotchkiss. That's the sway bar they come with Stage 2 kit. Like I said, we replaced all of our steering components except for the pump. On the Berlinetta, it does come with a quick ratio steering box, so it helps out quite a bit. We converted all of our transmission cooler lines to AN lines. So those come into a bulkhead here and then run up. I don't know if you can see it in there. We got a B&M transcooler up top there. And we, yeah, pretty much did. The entire underneath of this car is all new. So you can see, I don't know if you can see it from here, we have some flat spots already in our headers. So my goal this winter is we're going to take those headers off and we're going to dissect them and cut them and try to raise them up about 3/4 of an inch because I want to get the car a little bit lower just for a better stance. So we're going to do a lot of stuff to try to get the thing lower. Yeah, so I would take you inside, but I'll post up some pictures here. Our dashboard is currently apart because we had a little issue. We did convert the dashboard. I did did some plastic welding and stuff on the factory bezel. Made a factory aluminum brushed piece. Like I said, I'll post up some pictures here. And we went to a Holley, the 6.68 inch, 7-inch Pro Dash in this car, mostly for the data logging and GPS. So there's no cable anymore that runs back to the Turbo 350 to run my speedometer. It's all GPS. So that helps with, in the future, what we plan on doing with the car is we were going to go with a Winter's quick change, but I can't put the big one in because there's not enough room in between the rear end and the gas tank. So what I've been thinking about, and I did talk to QuickTime or Quick Performance about doing a factory or doing a 9-inch in this car. Then what we can do is get a couple different center sections for it to change our gear ratio, because I can't be normal. I have to be difficult. We're going to stay, I believe, depending on what changes, if we work out some deals with some people, we're going to stay with an automatic transmission. We'll probably go to a manual valve body transmission, but in my eyes right now, we're looking at a built Turbo 400 with a whole bunch of different things on it. Like I said, the main plan with this car is to do autocross, but there is a couple different events that I would like to do. Obviously, we went to LS Fest this year, but we did the show and shine. Met great response there. But I'd like to get a little bit into the actual autocross and everything down there. They have I can't remember what it is, but it's a 3. They have the Grand Champion, which does everything. They have another one that is just 3 different events, stop start, I believe drag racing, autocross. I have to learn a little bit more about that. But we might be putting a trans brake in this. We might be putting a lockup, selectable lockup in this. 501 Performance also builds transmissions. So I've been talking to him, and we talked about doing a built 350. And he goes, there's not enough that I can do with it. So I think we might be going to a 400 style on it. And then that would I'd be able to do so much more with it. So that's the plan as of right now. Built 9-inch with a posi in the rear and a built Turbo 400 manual valve body. In the past, B&M they made a Pro Stick for this car, which is no longer available. I'll post up a picture here. I believe it's a B&M, but it takes the factory location. I am trying to hunt one of those down, new old stock in the box, and that's what I'm looking for the car. I don't see them. So that's the plan. But I don't know if I should go through in this video. You know, maybe we might go through in this video what we've done to it, or done with the car. But I really don't want to make it that long. So come back. We're going to start diving into this thing. If you guys have seen the renderings, you'll know what our next step is. Powertrain's pretty much there. We have a few little tweaks and stuff to do with that. But we are going to start diving into the body mods. We're going to maintain the factory paint, keep it as original as possible, and do our body mods to it. So that's in the next episode, along with what we are planning on, or what we did with the car already this year. And yeah, come on back. So like, subscribe, send more people my way. Surprisingly, with it being 6 months since I put a video up, the channel has grown. The Instagram has grown. So hopefully it grows a little faster now that I'm actually going to do some videos. So like, subscribe, send your friends, tell your mom, tell your dad, come back, see the progress on Netta. So have a good one.